Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to do a recent favorites video. I have some decks here and some books that I want to talk about, as well as some journaling stuff. I also have a cup of tea, so feel free to join me in a cup of tea. Before we get started, I just want to send appreciation, gratitude your way. I've been getting a lot of comments lately on my channel, and I just want to say thank you. It's just it's very moving, and I think it's one of the most beautiful aspects about having a YouTube channel is how we get to inspire and connect with others through our experiences, and I just think it's amazing, and I just wanted to send my appreciation your way, my gratitude, and I've been thinking a lot about how I want to give back to our community, to you guys, and I think the best way that I can do that is by offering a workshop on my channel. It's going to be completely free. Like I said, it's really just a way to give back to you guys. I'm thinking of uploading a video next week. It'll be next week's upload where I provide details about it. I'm still in the process of creating it and figuring out what I want to do with it. So that will be coming next week. So be on the lookout for that video. So now that I have that out of the way, I want to start with some of the decks that I've just been loving. We're in the middle of a snowstorm right now. Finally in Canada, it decided to really feel like winter because, as I've mentioned before previously, we've been sort of having weather that feels like just colder autumn, basically. But now we're starting to experience the snow and ice that usually comes along with this time of the year. So I've been feeling very connected to my Seasons of the Witch Ule Oracle. So I've recently purchased this. Not like recently. I've had it for a while now at this point. And it's a very beautiful deck, same artist as the Samhain edition, and I'm feeling, like I said, I'm feeling very connected to this deck right now. Look at the gilding. Can we just take a minute to appreciate the gilding on these rock pool decks? So I'm feeling actually more connected to this deck than I felt connected to the Samhain Oracle, which is a bit of a surprise for me because Halloween is my favorite time of the year. But I've just been feeling such a deep connection with this deck. It has very strong crone energy, and I'm feeling very connected to the archetype of the crone right now on my personal path, as well as the archetype of the femme fatale, as I've mentioned in my most recent video apart from this one. So this deck, although it doesn't mind playing a more supportive role to your tarot decks, I feel like this deck it has a very strong voice. And she does enjoy being the star of the show. And I notice when I try to use this deck in a more supportive role, she sometimes does it. However, I just feel like a lot of the time when I use this deck, it almost has a separate message for me. Or it'll be both. It'll be a support to the tarot spread, to clarify something, to support the message, or it'll have both with also just a separate message for me. So that might be something that you want to take into consideration if you're thinking about getting this deck. we'll end with this one. It's a beautiful image. So that is the Seasons of the Witch Ule Oracle. So one thing that I've noticed with my personal spiritual practice, and you might have noticed this as well, or maybe you already are well aware of this, is the practice of using your menstrual cycle almost like a season. I've been noticing that with my own personal menstrual cycle. It almost matches up with the 4 seasons depending on where I am. And that's something that I'm sort of exploring right now on my personal path. And I've been feeling very connected with seasonal energy and working with the Witch's Wheel of the Year, or the Pagan Wheel of the Year as you might know it. I went ahead and I picked up the Witches Apothecary book. And what I like about this book is if you go towards the end, she talks about all the seasons of the year. And she gives very specific information. So she'll give colors that correspond to the season, plants, essential oils, animals, deities, and crystals. There's also recipes in this book for incense, making your own oils, all that fun stuff. So I've been really enjoying connecting with this book and working with it in my planner as well. So as I've mentioned on my channel already, I keep a bullet journal that I use as a planner, and I like to create my own art in this planner. So by the end of December, so by the end of the month, I like to choose a theme. And then I'm matching my tarot decks and some books or anything that really can invoke that energy that I'm trying to create in my planner. So I chose for January, Witches Apothecary theme. So I picked up this book. I was using my Botanical Oracle, which I'll spare you that because I've spoken about it so much on my channel. But I was using the Herbcrafter's tarot with it as well. And I was creating my spreads, connecting with the energies of those oracle decks in the book that I just showed you. So this is the Herbcrafter's tarot deck. And I felt like all of it paired so well together. And I was able to create some very beautiful January spreads in my planner just from connecting with this deck every single day. I feel very connected to the goddess Persephone with this deck, Hecate, to Medea, Circe. Oops. It has a rich connection to ancestry. I believe the creator might be from a Spanish-speaking country. I can't remember where exactly. Yeah, unfortunately I can't remember, but this is a very beautiful deck. It's great if you're maybe a practicing witch, like a green witch, or you feel very connected to herbs on your spiritual path. This could be a great deck for you. Although I don't identify as a witch, I feel very connected to the element of earth, and I use herbs regularly on my spiritual path. And I love connecting with this deck in that way. So this is the Herbcrafter's Tarot. And this deck is published by US Games, so it is a mass market deck. You can get it anywhere you get your tarot decks. I appreciate the guidebook. It gives you a decent amount of information. You get a little like paragraph that explains the card, and then you'll get a divinatory paragraph where it explains what the card means, and then at the end you'll get a couple of bullets where it explains how you can connect with the herb, ways you can use it in your practice. For example, here I have crafting with the 10 of air. So it recommends growing the herb in a countertop jar, and you can eat them and wait for new ideas to sprout within. So that's one bullet point. So there's 3 there that it just kind of gives you some ideas about how to use the herb. So I think that's a really fun way of connecting with these herbs, and it's a fun thing that they added to the guidebook as well. If you're new to herbs and working with them, that could be really special. So recently on my path, I have been feeling very connected to the crone archetype as well as the femme fatale archetype. And I have been really enjoying using the Witch Sister Tarot. So I just keep it in this bag here. And I am enjoying connecting with this deck. I feel a very strong connection to my Scottish heritage. I'm Scottish on my mother's side, so I do feel a very deep connection to my ancestry through this deck. And it is based off of Scottish mythology. And I think that's why I just feel such a deep connection with this deck and feeling my ancestors through it. What I also really appreciate about this deck is it talks about animals. In every single card there is a different animal depicted. And what I really have been enjoying doing, I've mentioned this on my channel already, is when I pull my card a day from the Witch Sister Tarot, I like to match my makeup with it. And it's just another way for me to embody the dark feminine or the femme fatale archetype. So for example, there is nudity in this deck, by the way, but for example, today I pulled the High Priestess card. So I had a lot of fun incorporating the blues from this card onto my face, and I decided to wear a blue shirt as well to just further invoke the energy and essence of this card into my day-to-day life, into my personal experience today. So I've been really enjoying connecting with this deck and with the energies of this deck that way as well. I have been really enjoying connecting this deck with the Green Witch Oracle deck. I've been working with them every single day together. I'll pull one card of each. From each deck, I mean. So you can see the 2 of them together. I think that they pair very well. The Green Witch Oracle deck does not mind playing a supportive role at all. In fact, it's excelling at it. And whatever I pull, I just find that this will give me a more clear idea about what I should be focusing on today, just as a quick example. And I just find that they just work so perfect together. Just as an example, last week I pulled the Ace of Water, which talks about it was a toad, I believe, or a frog. So it talks about transformation, metamorphosis, fertility, of course. But when I think of frogs, they have a very strong connection to metamorphosis and transformation. And I pulled the transformation card from the Green Witch Oracle. That's just a quick example off the top of my head, but it does it a lot where it'll just get it so perfect. The two of them just work so well together. Again, this deck does not mind playing a supportive role, and we enjoy that. We like that. Unlike the Yule Tarot, which I feel like the Yule Oracle, although it will play a supportive role, it's not quite. Sometimes I do feel like it's trying to point me in a different direction that day, or give me a separate message, I should say. So I showed you the Witches Apothecary book already. I've also been reading Maiden to Mother again. This one I'll pick it up, I'll read, and then I'll put it away for a little bit, and then I'll pick it back up again. And you're supposed to work with this book this way. I think the author mentioned how you're expected to kind of take your time with it, digest the material. Of course, you can work with it any way that you want, any way that you think is best for you in your path. But I do enjoy working with this deck slowly. What I've been really enjoying about this book is once you reach the end of the chapter, she gives you journal prompts and exercises. So that's what I've been really enjoying about this book. Lastly, for February, I am going to be doing a tea party or Alice in Wonderland tea party theme in my planner. So I'm going to be doing artwork that's associated with those themes. And that's because I am doing a tea party themed birthday party for my daughter. She's turning 2 in February. So I've already purchased the Barbara Moore Wonderland and Tarot deck. So I am planning on working with this in the month of February. So I'll be starting probably a couple of weeks before February. Towards the end of January, I'll probably start. I'll be using the tarot deck to create the themes in my planner. So that's what I'm thinking about doing for the month of February, to just sort of incorporate those themes in my planner, and working with that from a magical or energetic place. So that's what I'm planning on doing next month, and I'll be starting maybe a week or two before February. So I'll be using the last couple of weeks of January for that. Lastly, I've been really enjoying the guidebook of the Witch Sister Tarot. What I enjoy is how here's the Ace of Waters. She'll give you a synopsis of the card, and then she'll give you the divinatory meaning of the card, and she'll talk about the animal correspondence, or the animal, I guess, pictured in the card. So I do enjoy working with animals in my spiritual practice. I like to take note of repeating animals that I see in my life, in my day-to-day life. I do like to take note of them. I'll journal about them, and I'm noticing a lot of cardinals recently in my life. I was gifted a towel set for Christmas that featured a cardinal with pine needle, and I noticed one of my neighbors had a little cardinal statue outside her house as well. And then, I'm not kidding, I've also seen them out in the wild. So I definitely, I like to take note of that, and I like to work with the animal energetically as well, and I take note of the meanings and the messages that they're sending me. Just as a separate note, if you have Of Blood and Bones, this book has animal correspondences in it, which I really do appreciate about this book. It's probably one of the main reasons why I have this book in my collection is these animal correspondences, and she has them for insects as well. So I think that's just about all I wanted to say. I spoke about the working with animals in my practice. I spoke about the art, the journaling. I did start my January notebook. I finally finished my black one that you guys have seen quite a few times now. I'm still working with color in my journal. My journal notebook, not my planner. And as you can see, I'm feeling very inspired by the archetype and myth of the femme fatale. So she is all over my journal right now. And then, of course, I have to have a triple goddess at the back. Also, the 4 seasons. So that's a huge update on my spiritual path, the tools that I'm working with. I'm using a lot of color, a lot of makeup, creativity, art to really invoke and embody the femme fatale. I'm trying to feel more empowered in my day-to-day life, and I'm trying to also help others feel more empowered as well. It's becoming more and more important to me as I'm raising a daughter, and I have young females in my life as well, young girls. So I do want to help them feel more empowered. I think that's really important, and I think the best way to do that is by being empowered yourself, by living as an example, right? So that's very important to me right now on my path. These are the decks, the books that I'm feeling very drawn to at the moment. And that's all I have to really share right now. Like I said, I will be giving you an update on the workshop. I'll probably do that. That'll be next upload, so next week. And the workshop will probably be the following week. So you'll have advance notice. I'm thinking of working with the Witch Sister Tarot. I know a lot of people are enjoying this deck. A lot of people have it, and I think that's for a good reason. It's an excellent deck. The artwork is empowering. It's beautiful. It's raw. And I just feel such a connection to it. I think a lot of people are. And it has a very unique voice, and it sends very powerful messages. So I definitely think that the workshop is going to have this deck. So I'll let you know next week about the workshop. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.